Hywel, great to see you, and welcome to our virtual Alumni Connect video series. Great to be talking to you today. We're in strange times now, so maybe you could share a little bit about what kind of new challenges COVID-19 has brought for you and your role.
It's been, I suspect for everyone watching this video as well, it's been people overuse the word unique. It has been a unique time in our history, and certainly in my lifetime, and almost nothing has stayed the same. I'd almost split it into three stages. You had the shutdown period where we went from BCP plans, which were nice plans, to executing, to completely shutting down our business to work remotely off the back of Mikel Arteta's positive coronavirus diagnosis. And during that period, we had exercise BCP every single day. Our plans were adjusting. They were adjusting 3 to 4 times a day in terms of access to our sites, how we were going to play behind closed doors games, travel. And also alongside that was technology. And it's really interesting to me how 6 months down the line, technology is almost now a given that all our technology works remotely and we can be almost entirely as productive in the home as we were in the office. That was not the case a year ago. And the speed with which we went through that shutdown stage is something I've never experienced in my life before. Then we went to the next phase, which was lockdown, where a large number of our people just couldn't work remotely. If you have fans in a stadium, you can't support those fans in a stadium. You can't train, you can't run training sessions remotely. So actually, how we operated as a business during lockdown, where some people were the busiest they've ever been, and some people, their jobs were taken away from them almost at that point. And then we went to the third stage, which was actually starting up again. Every single aspect of our business, we've had to completely redesign how we do things. In some ways, absolutely, there's no long-term benefit to what we're doing. So we now, for example, we travel in 3 coaches to games rather than we used to travel in 1 game for our players to ensure we have social distancing on coaches, to really useful ways of actually run a game of football now with strict rules on people allowed into the red zone and amber zones. And we've absolutely reduced the number of people we have running a game of football, which I think has been really, really useful. Retail stores, stadium tours, travel. There's actually no aspect of our business which we've not completely redesigned how we worked in 3 months in the second half of this period.
It's a huge kind of shift to how you have to run the business. And as an Arsenal season ticket, I have to say thank you that all of that work has paid off, and that we do get to watch games, albeit can't be in the stadium. But that's the next challenge, I guess.
We're recording this on 29th September. Our plan was to have fans in the stadium for this Sunday, the 4th of October, against Sheffield United. We're in a funny situation now where I wouldn't be able to call when the first game we'll have fans in the stadium would be, and the game we're all dreaming of when the stadium is full again. And it's very tough to run an operation when we just don't have the answers to those questions.
Yeah. So, Hywel, maybe tell us, what is it about your role that you most enjoy? And I know sustainability is something that's very important to you. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think what I enjoy about my role is 2 things. One is it's an industry and an organisation which attracts such interest and pride throughout the world. We've got hundreds of millions of fans who really care about us doing things well and how we do and how we perform, primarily on the pitch, but also off the pitch. When I was IT director and people asked me what I did for a living, if I wanted to close the conversation off, I would say I worked in IT, and 98% of people would look absolutely disinterested in trying to move the conversation on. But if I wanted to open the conversation up, I worked for the Arsenal, and that was never failed to get the reaction, wow, that's really interesting, that's very exciting. And so to work for an organisation like that, of which proud to be Arsenal is our mission, and actually to have that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. In all that we do, the variety, the breadth of services we offer is truly mind-blowing, but we're actually not very big business. We're 500 employees. We're, the turnover that we are in the hundreds of millions, which is, not that big. So you get this huge global reach, this incredibly complicated business run by a small group of people. So my job is never dull because I'm doing really complicated strategic stuff and also very low-level operational stuff on the same day. So it brings huge amounts of variety to us. And sustainability is an interesting one for us because I think one of the things that we've been taught by Ken Fryer, and everyone involved in the history of the club is that we are custodians of Arsenal Football Club in terms of our responsibility to make the club healthy for the next generation. Mm-hmm. And that's also true with sustainability in terms of, our custodians of the planet. And I think what sustainability for me really is our 3 key values of the club: act with class, always move forward, and be together. Sustainability is part of that. It's really important in terms of us moving forward and some new ideas. So, to give two examples, we've installed a battery in the Emirates Stadium, which has enough power to power the entire game of football. All the power for the stadium can come from that battery. That's the first time in Europe that's ever happened in the sports arena, and that's something incredibly exciting and incredibly powerful. Mm. We're also working on a project with the European Space Agency at the moment, which is grass to gas, which kind of does what it says on the tin, which is taking grass clippings from our training ground and turning them into gas, which is powering our tractors. So it's really important for our fans and our community and also the world that we are doing the right thing by sustainability, but feeds into our core values of being innovative and acting with class.
So, Hywel, maybe you could finish by telling us a little bit about what influence and impact your career at Deloitte had on kind of your role today and the professional networks that you keep.
Always from my time in consulting, I look at every day and think, did I deliver the value for the client that I was being charged out as? And that mentality has stayed through to me today. Every day I feel as if I have a responsibility to make my organisation a better place than it was before. And I think the other thing that I've really learned from consulting is the importance of a network. There's a huge absolute bonus of working in the industry I do, in that it's very interesting to outside people. But as a consequence, when I get in meetings, people tend to want to talk about my industry and my sector and our business. And actually, I'll get ideas from outside our business much more easily, and outside our industry much more than I will from within it. Mm. Having a network is really, really important to me. And I learned from my Deloitte days, particularly, building that network. And that's been hugely beneficial, both of ex-Deloitte people, but also people I've met in similar industries. Some of the best ideas I've got for our retail business have come from businesses such as Paul Smith and Ted Baker, where I know those guys very well, and we can share ideas quite happily and quite freely. And building that network and using it is something I've absolutely learned from my consulting career.
Fantastic. Hywel, many thanks, and it's been a pleasure talking to you today. And I can only say, come on, you Gunners.
Fantastic. Thanks very much indeed. Here's hoping for even more trophies this season.
Absolutely. Take care.